Okay, game 5. I just had my first loss, so I was hoping for a good bounce back game here. Got paired with 1504. And I opened d4. This is, I think it's called the Old Benoni. And wasn't too sure, but I think pushing is fine, and it turns out it is. Let's see, beat d6. This is pretty standard stuff. Book moves, defend the pawn with c4, make way for the knight. And then he wants to fianchetto and pressure this diagonal, which I hate playing against. So I got 2 games in a row like this, but so knight comes out. This move seemed a little mysterious to me, because I don't really know what the point is. Going here after I play e4, he just can't, and maybe even before that, he can't really ever push here, because I can just win the pawn, I think, if he tries this. Yeah, c takes b5 is fine. I mean, this is a more central pawn, so you're giving it up, but you're still just winning material, so there's like, I don't know, I'm just not too sure what the idea was here. Seems a little slow to me. Anyway, e4, okay, g7, bishop g7, yep, fianchetto, then just normal developing move, knight f3, challenging my center, and I was kind of calculating knight g5 here in kind of hope chess fashion, that if he takes, I could get queen, recapture with the queen, and get some maybe interesting ideas with pressure early in the game, but I decided that was premature and hope chess, because after knight g5 he simply plays h6 and I have to come back, so there was no real point in trying that. I stayed flexible and just developed my light squared bishop to e2, and he brings his knight out. I feel like this might have been a stronger move, I don't know. But in any case, maybe he didn't want to get in the way of his bishop, his scope there. So I go bishop f4, and I thought this was totally fine, because I kind of figured one of his stronger replies might be to play e5 and kick my bishop back, and then in which case he kind of fixes the center, and he makes this bishop weaker because it's going to be staring at a pawn that's probably not going anywhere anytime soon. So I wanted to induce him to play e5, and instead he captures on c3 with his dark squared bishop, which is a pretty serious positional mistake, because this is a really strong piece, and it's going to just have pressure for a long time if he just leaves it there. And I can just trade it. He just lets me trade it for my knight, and he gets almost nothing in return, because this knight, I mean, yeah, it's got some central influence here, but I'll take this trade any day. And then after this, captures. Important to know, queen can't capture because it's held by the knight, so we undouble our pawns, and we have a pretty good center, and his dark squares are really weak here. And I still have my dark squared bishop that's just primed to hop in here whenever I need it to. We both castle here, and I really like my position. I feel like I have great winning chances here. So game continues. This seemed crazy to me. Really opening his king up and trying to open up the whole board. I considered 3 moves here: bishop h6, bishop g5, and push e5. In the end, I went with e5 because I just didn't really want him to get this capture in, because he opens his rook, and then he's attacking the knight. This bishop, if I moved it here, okay, it wouldn't be hitting the bishop, but I still just didn't like opening this necessarily, so e5 seemed fine to me. And after takes, couldn't figure out what was best. Bishop here seems pretty strong, eyeing up these squares right around the king, but I saw that after knight d7 he could maybe chase my bishop away or maybe force a trade and my knight would end up here. And I didn't want to give this bishop up or move it necessarily, so I went with knight takes. And the computer likes the other one better. I don't clearly understand why that is, but either one's winning in any case. And then this move, there's a couple ideas behind it. You get a discovered, you're threatening a discovered check, and then you can push c4, swing the queen over while fixing the pawn here. So that's kind of what my thought was, but I missed that he can just play c4 right now, and it negates both of those options. Both reasons I put the queen here are now dead. So this move, I can see why it was inaccurate. And also he could offer a queen trade here, which I definitely don't want. So I would rethink this move for sure if I played this game again. But he instead felt this was too pressing of a threat, and he moved his, he moved his king instead, and that allows me to fix the pawn here and gives my queen the opportunity to run away from a queen trade if he offers it. Takes with check, king has to move, and then queen h3, eyeing up this pawn that's now loose, and he doesn't have a spectacular way to defend it. Like, this is just winning pretty hard here for white. Let's see. Yeah, he tries h5, and then I calculated that sacking the bishop probably worked. I didn't fully calculate this line. I had spent some time in the earlier middle game, so I only had 5 minutes, almost 6 minutes here, but I was just trying to play practical, and this really felt like it was working, because after rook takes, trying to pin the bishop, which is his best try, you can capture, queen captures, and then even here you have some ideas, and most of them are pretty good. I thought I could take here, or at the very least drop the bishop back, but I don't know, this might be pretty bad. I don't know how much advantage this gives away. No, it's still fine. I think, yeah, the computer likes d6 here, which makes sense because you're kicking the knight away from the defense of g6, and then after captures with check, you can queen trade and you're out of the pin, because he would probably have to come back here. But he didn't. He's been playing pretty fast. You can see he still has 14 minutes left, and he didn't calculate that this was losing a lot worse. So that's what he played. And I thought I had a forced checkmate here. I was missing that the knight can block, but you can still infiltrate with the queen and give him all kinds of problems. Take with check and win the knight. Rook blocks the check, swing a rook over, and set up another discovered check. His king is so exposed here. Bishop d7, and I have a mate in 4 here, and I could not find it. I only had 4 minutes. I spent a while. I was somehow worried about making a blunder and giving the advantage back, and I felt the time ticking away from me. So after I couldn't find forced mate, I just played any move because it doesn't really matter. You're kind of winning no matter what. And the king comes up. Bishop here for the discovered check. And I liked that the bishop guarded this square. He has to block with the queen here, otherwise it's just mate. And he didn't, and he stepped right into it. So that was game 5. And it went a little better. Well, quite a bit better than game 4. Pretty happy with the way I played overall. A couple things I might rethink if I have somehow had that same position. But yeah, game 5 was a win, and we are 4-1.